Welcome to The First Turn. I'm your host, Hyena, and today, Llama and I are talking about This Week in Warhammer. If you like what you hear, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share, or let us know if there's something you'd like to hear us talk about. Alright, let's get to it.
Welcome to The First Turn. I'm Hyena.
I'm Llama.
And today we're talking about This Week in Warhammer.
Yep, in the last weekend before GenCon.
Yeah. Oh, so excited. So I'm ready. I'm ready. Are you taking anything to the painting competition?
I forgot that there was a painting competition until like yesterday.
The general one?
I was talking about it. I have pieces I could bring that I haven't entered in something before, so maybe. We'll see.
Okay. I was thinking about grabbing one of my more completed models and just in the next 2 days, just finishing it. Just spin it. Yeah, just kind of spiffing it up a little bit and seeing.
Now, the GenCon General is interesting among painting competitions in that there will be 1,000 entries. Just so many people enter because they're general categories. They're not like brand specific. They're single mini, they're chibi, they're bust, they're dual diorama, they're whatever. Any brand. And it's a ticket system, which is a little confusing. You have to like register online, but you have to use 2 event tickets,
right? Which you don't get in person. Can you even order those in advance?
I don't know. I know I did it wrong one year and had to buy it twice or something. But like you can just show up and get the little $2 tickets, which you can use for all sorts of stuff. But I think you need 2 of them to enter that event, and then you can enter up to a number of categories. And now it's another one of the merit-based judging ones, which I have my own thoughts of. But and this one they're pretty lenient. I mean, most everybody gets something. But it's still fun. I mean, competitions are always fun to me. They do unique prizes at the end, however. So while they do ribbons and medals for the general, there are certain companies that sponsor the event. And so you might have Corvus Belli, Parabellum Creature Caster, the company that does the, what's the airbrush? Not Harder Steenbeck, but...
Badger?
No, the other one. Really good one.
Badger.
It's like the one in between those two. They make like the Infinity whatever. Anyway, so they'll sponsor it anyway. And so what'll happen is you'll go through the GenCon General. They'll judge your piece. You'll get placed or not, and then those sponsors will individually look at models that are from their brand or their lineup, and then they'll say like, here was the best in show for our stuff, and then they'll have like real prizes, loot. So that's always kind of a neat little bit at the end. Now, granted, the First Turn community has a streak of having won the Creature Caster Best in Show every year since they've started that, which is remarkable. I, however, do not have a Creature Caster piece to enter, and I think I'm the only one from the crew going who had Creature Caster stuff. So
I know I've got 2 that are unpainted, but they're medium size.
Yeah. The ones I currently have are either gigantic, or they are smaller, but I haven't even assembled them. Right. So there's no way because we leave. We'll all be there Wednesday. So I don't know. But like I said, I've got some other completed pieces I can enter into other categories, maybe, and we'll see how those fare. But yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. As GenCon always is. Downtown Indy, you got the convention center, the stadium, the block party, good food, their craft beers, all that stuff that's there. So
I mean, we're staying in a pretty swanky Airbnb as a group. That's going to be a lot of fun. Full kitchen. So we can even potluck it. Yep. I mean, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I think a grocery stop one of the days will be good so that we're not eating out all the time. And then and there's a couch and a screen on the rooftop that we can take advantage of. So yeah, if the weather holds. But yeah, that should be wild. We might even record when we're there. We'll see. We'd always talk like we will. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So it made this week leading up to it feel sort of like the last week of school where you're just not paying attention in class. Yeah. And so whether I've been at work or looking at Warhammer community site, I've just been kind of like, And there's been nothing super exciting on the Warhammer community site, even though Games Workshop doesn't really do preparation for GenCon because it's not a miniatures convention. Yeah. So what did we see? Oh, look, more takes on Saturnine armor.
I mean, it's released now, and so you have to do the post-release.
Here's how the community's painted it. Yeah. Here's how the staff's painted it.
I mean, Cathay is past and done, so that's we're not really seeing that much anymore. Grey Knights and Black Templars are coming up as a release window, so we're starting to see some more of that. Even though neither of those armies really got much. I mean, there's a character in a book and then a upgrade sprue in a book.
It's 2 characters in a book and then a sprue in a book.
Technically, I think the Grey Knights made out a little bit better than that. They got some units added to their roster that they didn't have before.
Really?
I think the whatever the current Tech Marine model is got added to Grey Knights, so they technically have 1 Primaris unit.
I didn't know Grey Knights had Tech Marines, but I guess they should. Yeah, makes sense,
right? So I think that model got.
So is he a psychic Tech Marine?
I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know the details. I haven't looked into it, but it was like I'm pretty sure that was added to their list of data sheets, though.
What a life that guy must lead, because like one of the things that Space Marine chapters have to go through is if they detect psychic abilities, you're like absconded, taken somewhere, and they hone and train and whatever but they still turn you into a Marine. And then if you're mechanically inclined, they abduct you, take you to Mars or one of those planets, and they turn you into a Tech Marine.
So you get turned into a Tech Marine. Turns out you've got latent psychic powers, and then you get stolen after you become a Tech Marine and then taken to the Grey Knights, who technically don't exist.
Well, and then the Grey Knights are different from normal librarians in that they're all psychic and they're trained to fight that way through their weapons and through their vehicles. So now you've got one who's latent psychic, trained specialty as a Grey Knight, taken to a Martian planet to learn the tech stuff and then come back.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to see that.
Yes, I'm like, I don't know. It's very, very weird.
I didn't know. That's cool.
They did lose a big data sheet though. That I mean makes sense. I mean, you haven't had the character in plastic ever. Which is Caldor Drago. And he's always been, very divisive. People love him, people hate him. Some of us are traumatized from him because he was a terror.
His first iteration in 5th Ed was just a nightmare.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were Grey Knight death balls and stuff through most editions where you just run away from him because you can't kill him. It's not worth it to try. And so just the fact that he's gone, I don't think he's forgotten. It's one of those things like look at Space Marines. This week, there was an announcement at that preview show that
4 brand new character models.
Call them models were released, but 2 of them are actually new data sheets because they didn't exist in rule form up till now. And so, I mean, that just goes to show you that, like, just because you have a book doesn't mean you don't get anything.
Yeah, and that could be Games Workshop. So it looks like they're not going to change the way they write their rules anytime soon. And what I mean is that they're still going to have this big weird lead time where they're writing in paper, and so by the time they launch they're invalid. But I think they're going to do less of trying to perfectly align model releases with those.
Right.
And so those 4 Space Marine characters you're talking about, 2 of them which have existed already, Vulcan and Lysander, their rules existed already. Now they're getting brand new plastic models. They might get new rules.
Yeah.
And then the other 2, an Iron Hands and a Raven Guard, are completely new characters, so they weren't in the Space Marine book. So I think for people who, I understand if people are upset, they'll all of a sudden claim Drago was their favorite character who they played forever and they read all his books and everything.
Yep.
And now he's gone. Oh, they took away this important part of our da-da-da. This does not mean that they won't make a big pretty plastic model and release him in 6 months or whatever, or maybe they're already working on it and it just didn't fit the release window. I agree with you. I don't think he's gone because he is kind of lore important. Even though they have whoever that other guy is now. Voltus? No.
Voltus is the Grandmaster on foot with the hammer.
Yep.
And the Sheko cap. That guy. And they've also got Crow, too.
Castellan Crow,
with the big demon sword.
And they have do they still have Brother Captain Stern?
I don't.
He's another one that hasn't been updated to plastic.
So. But no, I don't think he's
in there anymore. But I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, if they do a big grand plastic Terminator upscaled Drago at some point, and they'll give you an option to helmet, no helmet.
He'll be like an 80 mil base.
Yeah,
kind of a scenic one, Primarch sized base, whatever. Be super cool and heroic pose.
Yeah, and they'll give him a helmet or a no helmet, and like I agree. It'll come like that, just like Logan did. Just like wouldn't surprise me at all. Just not right now.
Yeah, and then Black Templars obviously they still use the Codex Astartes, but one interesting tidbit about the rules there is they actually lose access to Space Marine stuff. Their version of their supplement isn't going to be like oh, well, here's your chapter rules that we tack on. Here's a detachment. Like, they are losing one of the bigger parts of Space Marines as an army, which is the rule Oath of Moment.
Yep.
And I thought that was super interesting that they're finally kind of doing that. Like, most of the divergent chapters, like Blood Angels and stuff, don't have access to a lot of that stuff, right? Like, don't they?
They shouldn't.
Don't they lose it? But there's also things like, well, there's specific attachments that make your oath better, or like you can change oath targets. Fury the First, I think is what it was called, or the first company in the Space Marine book has some interaction rule-wise with oath as a rule. And so, like, are they also going to start taking away detachments that are available to these divergent chapters? Because from what I understand now, like, they still have access to Space Marine stuff, plus their own books stuff.
Yep.
And so I'm wondering if we're starting to see that come to fruition.
Yeah. And so,
like, you're a fully formed army now. You don't need to rely on the Space Marine stuff.
Yeah.
You've got your own.
Well, I've never been a fan. We've talked about that. Like, once they decide to diverge these chapters to be their own thing, I don't like that they also have to have Codex Space Marines. There's a lot of Marine players who love it because they get just an absurd combination of options. And when Marines themselves are otherwise mopey, they can still be bent or, dare I say, broken, because it's like, well, but I can combine my thing from my Dark Angels book with this one thing from Codex Space Marines, and all of a sudden they stack in a way that they probably never intended, and they'll never FAQ it.
Yep.
Well, now the Black Templars, it's like, no, you don't get Oath of Moment, you get these vows, and you have to pick one. Now, the vows seem very good, so I'm not worried about them being, Black Templars being good, but I wish all the divergent chapters were, instead of Oath, you have this.
Right.
You don't need Codex Space Marines anymore.
You get, your detachments listed here, plus maybe this one from Codex Space Marines.
Yeah. Because no other faction in the game gets to do that.
Right.
Like,
it makes sense to me if Dark Angels get access to the Outrider detachment, right? Where it's like, this is for mounted characters, whether it's horses or bikes or whatever. Like, this is a mounted detachment.
Oh, that was the fifth one.
What?
The fifth Space Marine character was the White Scar Khan on bike.
Oh shit, yeah. Yep.
There was a fifth one.
You're right. There was 5.
And he didn't exist before.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
In rules, no. But in lore, yes. We've heard that name before.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't pull these names out of a hat. Right. It's just, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, you're right. Wow, so even more. But yeah, like if it were something like that where, like, you get access to these very specific choices, not just all of it, but like, we wrote this detachment specifically for Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Either put it in their book or tell them they can use it, but like, don't give them the whole access to the whole codex.
It's so ridiculous, because then you end up. It's funny because then those tournaments will come and go, and it'll be like first place this winner, and it'll say Blood Angels. It'll say Blood Angels or whatever.
Right.
And then you read the list, and it's like they played like one actual Blood Angel unit. The rest of this was Codex Space Marines.
This is Codex Space Marines with Sanguinary Guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were able to abuse like the stacking of the rules and then the stratagems.
Yeah.
And I really detest that. It's something that since the days of 7th Ed, really, when people have found ways to soup things, and it's always Imperium armies who can do it more than anybody else. Now, on the Chaos side, I feel like they've done better about separating them off onto their own. I would like...
Well, because there's always like, hey, here's your book. Also, you have your own version of this Demon Prince. You have your own version of this, Chosen unit. You have your own version of this, tank.
Yep.
It's like, we're not giving you access to the full Chaos Space Marines roster.
And they restricted access in the individual Chaos books to some of the stuff from Chaos Space Marines Codex. And I just think maybe Black Templars is that first... Maybe Wolves was. I didn't read the Space Wolves Codex, but that's just out now, right?
Yeah, it's definitely
it's out now.
Yeah.
But maybe Black Templars at least is like that first step towards, okay, we're going to fully separate these, and they're not just going to get access to the full boat of both.
I'm excited about that. I'm glad about that.
Yeah, same. Because again, no other faction in the game really gets access to that. I've seen the discussion take place online where people go back and forth on that. It's like, we know the Space Marines in particular are the poster children of the hobby, and so they're always going to get love. I don't think their rules necessarily get more love than everybody. It's just when you give them such a variety of rules, there's always bound to then end up more that they can do. But it's funny, as I've watched defenders of it, like, you have your right to, but I've seen people defend it like, well, if they don't have access to bring in all this other stuff, they can't compete. It's like, that means it's written poorly.
Right.
If they can't compete on their own and they have to have all this extra stuff. That doesn't mean that's the justification for it. No,
and I get like from a lore perspective, right, where it's like, oh, humans are fighting an uphill battle against all the evils and all the aliens and everything, and so it's like they can't be the best because then they'd be winning
all the time,
and it's like, but we're not playing the lore, we're playing video games,
right,
on tabletop.
Yep.
It's basically what we're doing here.
Yep. It's why you can't represent a Marine accurately on the tabletop. Right. You can't give every Space Marine...
Because you know how many Marines there would be if you were playing Marine, like lore-accurate Marines on the tabletop? You'd have like 10.
Yeah, you'd have a squad of like 10 guys. Yeah. Each of them would have 9 wounds and toughness 8. Like, so they can't do that.
Right.
And same goes for like giving that full immersiveness of the game. You can't make it all lore-accurate all the time. Flavor, I think, is what you can maintain. But I just wish, if you're going to diverge these Marine chapters out, don't let them all share everything from the same pool.
Yeah.
Because that just leads to soup. It leads to broken combos.
And it leads to just an unfun experience in the game, too. Because then it feels bad, right? Because it's like, well, why would I ever play my game this way, being that I could play it this other way for the same... at no penalty, and it's just
no
better.
Penalty. Yep.
It's like, why would I handicap myself and play a suboptimal way?
Well, and consider what you get the second you buy models that are in Primaris or Terminator armor. You now have access to more armies than anybody because the color you paint them doesn't matter.
Right.
So you just have to decide which set of rules you're going to bring. And if you just diverge a little bit and buy a kit here, a kit, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I can play Blood Angels, Space Wolves, or Black Templars today because I have most of those models.
I'll just paint them, all of them, some custom color scheme.
Yep. And say they're a divergent chapter. Yeah.
They're not a first founding chapter. They're
they're an Ultima founding.
Yeah.
And like no one else can really do that. And so like what's the balancing act then? You have to make the armies that can't do that way stronger on their own. Then Marines always feel vanilla, like so. Then it's unfun 2 ways. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
Rant aside, I think the Black Templars themselves getting the vows instead of the Oath of Moment is cool. Mm-hmm. I think the 2 heroes are getting look neat. That new like specialist chaplain and the banner bearer guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've always liked the look of the Black Templars. I think Sigismund was one of the coolest characters in the Heresy, and he was like the first.
All of their unique characters too. They all look great and characterful. The Interrogator Chaplain, the Helbrecht, Grimaldus,
Helbrecht.
Like those characters all look great.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the most unique, striking sort of true Space Marine chapter. Whereas like when you go into like any of the other Divergent one, you're kind of like, these aren't really Space Marines anymore. Space Wolves, they don't look like Space Marines anymore.
Nope.
They're so like, their physiology now is like they're almost like hulking.
Yeah.
They've almost mutated a little bit. Like look at Grimnar.
He's big.
He's huge.
Yeah.
And he's got non-human features. His Terminator armor has gotten bigger and more like hunchbacked. Like there's physical changes going on with that guy.
I heard a rumor that it's because the sleigh was a transformer and it just turned into his armor. But that's yeah.
Yeah.
But and then he carries around 2 giant mutant wolves and and you're right.
Just carries them under his arms.
Yep. Just like boom boxes.
Yeah.
Their physiology has morphed dramatically. And Blood Angels, they did it where their armor looks like slightly slimmer.
Mm-hmm.
They were more of like the humanoid shape instead of the bell-bottom shape on some other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's what I'm saying. They've kind of diverged a bit from classic Space Marine look, and they're becoming more unique.
But I'm okay with that if you're going to make these chapters divergent.
Absolutely.
Make them different.
Yeah. But I think Black Templars is the coolest looking of the ones that still look like real Marines.
Mm-hmm.
They start getting more heraldry. They get more
jewelry. They have jewelry all the time.
All that stuff. So
vials and Dark Angel is pretty cool too. But like, I hope this is a steady direction for Marines and they don't immediately waffle back.
Mm-hmm. Talking about changing directions and waffling. I just got the battletome for Idoneth Deepkin for Age of Sigmar.
The latest Age of Sigmar army.
And this was kind of spoiled a bit before when it came out, and people have been talking about it a little bit, but their army rules are very different than what they were in the Index. And it's a mixed bag.
Which, we called that would happen at some point in AOS 4.
At some point, they always will change. how they designed their codexes. And so if you compare a codex now to a codex in the beginning, or a battletome now compared to a battletome in the beginning, you will notice a design change. You will notice what we call power creep. We will, that kind of stuff. It's like this is not designed at the same time. We look at the index versus their book, and it's like they changed this a lot. They didn't change anything before. There's a design difference, right? This one changed a lot. So the new tides system is more flexible. You get to like choose your kind of special rule for the battle round, and use the things when you want them. But you're a little more restrictive in that you can't just use any of it. You have to like build up to it. It's like a crashing wave, right? A wave starts as a bump, and then it turns into a swell, and then it curls into a splash.
It comes over your boat
thing, whatever. So you could switch, which path you're going down mid game, but then it kind of resets the wave again, your momentum. The step 3 in each of the waves are really, really good for both of them.
Yeah,
but they're different intentions. They're different timings to use them, but you have to commit to it, and your opponent can see it coming. That's the issue. Just like a wave, you can see it coming.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that aside, though, I think the rules that they get are good. The unfortunate bit is that there's not a lot of units.
The roster is still too small
to take advantage of the rules. Yeah, so that's the issue. It's like,
so you're going to be stockpiling rules on like 4 units.
I mean, yeah. You've got 4 total units that aren't monsters.
Yep.
Or heroes. That's it. That's all you have. And it's like, man, that's such a disappointment. Like the army is unique to this setting. They were brand new.
The lore was super unique for them too.
They're super active in the story.
Yeah.
Like the lore is really neat. But there's just nothing happening with them. Like we said, there's a list of things that every army needs to be complete. And I think you need, of like the 8 things in my checklist, you need to have like 6 of them. Right. And this army really only has like 4 of the 6 that they need to be complete. And like you wouldn't need much. No. You could have a lot more, but you wouldn't need much to feel better. I mean, Sylvaneth, Lumineth, the other elf factions, I think, have gotten there. They've gotten a lot. Yeah. Daughters of Cain have room to potential to expand, but I think they have everything they need to be a complete army. Technically, I mean, they need aesthetic updates because a lot of their stuff is from old world, the fantasy. But like, you compare those to Ideneth, and you're like, man, these guys really, really don't have what they need. They've got a infantry unit that's melee.
Yeah.
They have a infantry unit that's shooting.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Yeah.
Right. That's your core of your army.
And now all of these heroes that they have that confer buffs have to put them all on those 2 infantry units.
Yeah.
Like
that's it.
So you're picking your character to decide what your army is, but they buff the same stupid thralls. Mm-hmm. And so there's only like so many different ways they can go. I don't know. We've talked about that. We've been on that kick for a couple months now about expanding AOS rosters, and that's just it. The bare minimum they should do is what they're doing with Caradrons, where you not only got a hero, you also got a unit kit that makes 2 things.
Right.
That at least gives you much more to do with the army. And with Ideneth now, they've been out since 2nd Ed, I think.
Yeah, it was a Adepticon reveal, 2nd Ed.
Yeah, and it's like, we were looking, it's like, well, these heroes they got, these new ones, not the named guy, but the 2 unnamed ones. It's like, well, they could have made units of regular dorks that mimicked those heroes.
Right.
You could have done one kit that makes 5 or 10 guys that can be built either way. And now you've got 2 extra war scrolls.
Yep.
And you've expanded the army and what can get buffs from the heroes.
They did release an aquatic elf unit not too long ago in Warcry, and then put it in Lumineth.
Yep.
The Riverblades.
Yep.
Who were basically war dancers is what they were from the old world.
Yeah.
Which were like acrobatic but lethal, fast, kind of unit. And it's like, man, could you imagine if this army had gotten a fast-moving, hard-hitting,
skirmishy melee
elite unit? Like that would have helped. That would almost completed this roster. That alone, but instead
we gave it to a roster that is pretty big.
I think it's the 3rd largest.
Yeah, Lumineth's pretty big.
So I don't know. It's interesting choice. You know, like I'm just sitting on my hands, just waiting for when.
Or why didn't they just, why didn't you just fold Ideneth into Lumineth and make it the water temple?
Right, something. Right, like they made up with Teclis, and now you're rolled back into the fold of the elves. You know, they helped you with the light of Hysh. They helped you.
Oh yeah, there's the other thing.
Regain your souls and
the guy who made them isn't even in their army.
Yeah,
for the record. Yeah,
it's weird. It's so weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Just a hero.
Yeah.
Like I mean, heroes. Here you go. I mean, it's cool they got a new incarnate, but you know, I'd like to see that incarnate just be a universal one.
Yeah.
Their spell lore is one of the only two of its type in the game. One of them is universal, and it's better. You know, we see that all the time where it's like, oh, here's your army's spell lore for your endless spells and invocations and stuff. And it's like, okay, but why wouldn't I just take wild magic from Universal?
Which has 3 similar spells that are all better.
They're all better in every way. I mean, that, like, Death is like that. A lot of the Death armies are like that, where it's like, all right, you cherry-picked these 3 from these different lores that are universal ones, but they're worse in each one of them.
Yep.
You know, it's bizarre. I feel like it should be the other way around, right? Like, the faction ones should all be better than the universal ones, 100% of the time.
And they should all cost points.
And, you know, if you don't want to use your factions ones, you want to use basically a different factions ones, you have a universal one that's slightly worse. You know what I mean? That gives you that flexibility. It should be the other way around in terms of design. Because otherwise, why would I ever bring my own when I can just take the universal one that's better, that's available to everybody?
Yeah. The universal thing, so I guess I have 2 thoughts on that. It was like, either don't do the universal ones and you just give every faction their own. Now, of course, you run the risk of some faction ones are just going to be miles better than other ones. Right,
because it's already, again, we're too late. We've already established a baseline, and now we're changing directions.
Yeah.
You can fix it, right?
You
like
could.
In the age of digital rules, we can fix them.
Or it was you shouldn't give factions their own manifestations.
Sure.
And you just have universal ones everybody picks from.
Or, you know, any of these manifestations could just be units in their freaking army.
Yeah.
That you pay points for. Like, why is the Glade Worm a summonable creature and not just a giant spite you pay points for in the army? You know what I mean? Like,
yep,
it's weird. Why is the infernal magmoth, whatever, magma monster that Fire Slayers get? Why is that a summoned magical unit and not just a lava monster you can pay 120 points to include in your army? You know what I mean? Like, it's unnecessary.
Yep. Yeah, expand the rosters instead and have everyone pick from the universal spellers, or maybe get rid of that system. But that's another thought.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. It's just there's something to be said about, like, oh, well, we created these monsters and whatever with magic. It's like, yeah, but now they're permanent. I mean, just pay for them with points.
And you could still say, lore-wise, it's a magical monster.
Death Army, you're allowed to include one regiment of renown. It's called the Purple Sun of Hysh, or of Shaiish.
Yeah.
And it's now a 200-point monster that does this stuff that you just include in your army.
Yep.
Like, you can be killed, it can be destroyed in combat, whatever. Like, make it a unit. Stop making it this weird system of, like, you set it up, you know, and it does this thing, but it can be banished, and then you can resummon it, and it's got hit points, but it counts as a unit, but it doesn't count as a unit. You know, it doesn't get in combat, but you can't run from it. It's like, just make it, like, make some of this stuff just units in the game. You know, and that's where I'm at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it ruins the game. Maybe we are not in the majority here, but I feel like the AOS rules are some of the better core rule systems they have.
They totally are.
The way the game flows
which is crazy to me. Again, I think they have some of the best models.
Yep.
I think they have one of the better rule sets at the moment. I think it's super unique, and it's not getting the attention it needs.
No, not.
I think the community around the game wants more attention. They want more models, and they want more stuff. And for, I want to say, almost years now, we felt like we're an afterthought.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, is there anything else possibly that can come up in the schedule? Push AOS back and release something else then. It feels a little bit like that.
Well, and the character in a book joke that we started in AOS 3 just ended up becoming largely a reality.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this gets AOS by. Re-release the book, and they get a hero that takes us no time to design in CAD. And the funny thing is, it's probably, you have these R&D people or these artists who come up with loads of ideas. I'm sure they do. And then when it comes time to use something, and it's like, well, okay, they came up with this aesthetic for this army. How do we make a unit out of these? Let's just make one of them, call it a hero, and release it.
Right.
And I think that probably happens.
Oh man, you got a bunch of really good ones here. Wrap them all together. Put them in Underworlds.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's how the Pestilence one was. Remember that one?
Yep.
The Pestilence warband there was a plague priest. It was a single great sensor the flail guys, who are legends now, by the way.
They don't exist.
So the Underworld Warband has one, and they're now legends. It has a giant rat in it. Well, giant rats were sent to legends. They don't exist anymore. A couple of plague monks, and like I said, the plague priest, who is now legends. Everything in that warband is basically in legends. But it was like, here's the updated aesthetic that we want to take Pestilence in, and instead make an Underworld Warband and cut everything. Don't re-release anything. It's like, why? Why would you like?
Yep. And now I don't know how much evidence we have to back up what we're claiming here.
It's what it feels like.
But that's what it feels like.
And it's happened over and over and over again.
Yep.
Like what happened with the Drum Warband for Blades of Corn.
Yep.
Here's a cool new Slaughter Priest. Here's a cool new Bloodstoker, or whatever he was called. Here's a cool new like concept for these hulking, monstrous, blood-hungry mutant dudes. Just release one of them, make it a warband.
Yeah, one of each in a warband for Underworlds.
It's like, what?
Well, Underworlds...
That army needs updates.
So it's funny is Underworld says to me, because Kill Team doesn't say this to me in 40K, because Kill Team, they take what are basically 40K units and character them up.
Yeah.
AOS, it's like all of their new designs, they have so many, and they put them in Underworlds first.
Right.
And I don't mean first as in with plans to release later, because we haven't seen much of that.
Right.
It's, they're getting all these, you've got... an art team there, a design team there, who's coming up with these crazy cool designs for the Mortal Realms, and it's almost like the whoever's the decision makers come by, look at the whiteboard, and they're like, put those 5 in a Underworld's warband.
Yeah.
And so then it never gets fleshed out as units. They don't expand the roster.
Yeah.
They're not dedicating production time.
I mean, look at Sylvaneth. We have our second warband that's got the Carnathi in it.
Yeah.
These like centaur elf people.
Yep.
When is that ever going to pay off?
Yeah.
Like this again, it's one of those things where it's like what Sylvaneth had not. It was ported over from Old World, and just has really gotten very little support. I mean, lately we got a couple of characters. We got character book, that kind of thing. We got a new unit of like Dragonfly Riders a while back. Yep. We got the winged like archers. Remember those guys?
Yep.
So they've gotten some things, but it's like
new Dryka.
But you were just the Dryka model was very, very early.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Belthanos release.
That's the one I'm thinking. The Beetle, right?
Yeah, it was like not that long ago.
Yeah.
But what I would have liked instead of that is doing the other aspect of it. Instead of more of the same, like, more ghost trees.
Flying on bugs.
You know what I mean? Well, these ones fly on bugs now. Well, these ones have their own wings. Yeah. Like, it's neat. You're continuing that aesthetic and you're expanding it a little bit, but it's like you have this really cool concept you're just sitting on. The first Carnathi warband came out in like the second season of Underworld. So we're on season like 8 now or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like the starter box for the second season was these Carnathi. And they were super cool. We were like, whoa, these are the new, reincarnated basically version of the Wood Elves that you cut in Set the Legends when this game, was recreated basically. This is what Wood Elves are going to look like now. Awesome. Crickets. Just nothing for... Until now, and you're like, we didn't. Hey, remember that concept we had that you thought we got rid of? We didn't have another Underworld warband with them.
Yeah, so it's funny.
It's like
I've never seen a setup get gamers so erect, only to have the rug pulled out from under them that fast. When it was like, remember that aesthetic? We're bringing it to another Underworld's warband. Right. It was like,
and it wasn't even like, hey guys, remember this Carnathi thing that would have been super cool to have as like a skirmishy sort of unit? Well, we have this skirmishy game that takes place in the realm of beasts, where these elves have kind of turned into beasts. But guess what? You don't get them.
No.
Because, like, they did 8 box sets of basically 2-player box sets for the realm of Gur in Warcry. And it wasn't one of these was not this Carnathi unit, like this Carnathi guys. It's like, this would have been the perfect time to introduce them. Like, why not?
What a neat concept that could have been also is if you go, maybe you just focus on the stag centaurs and you say you make a character one and then you do one box of 5 and it makes 2 kinds of things. One that's skirmishy with range and then one that fights.
Sure.
And they do, but like,
you got a unit that's got like spears that they can both charge with and throw.
Yep.
And then you've got like a bow unit, like an archer unit.
And just like that, you now pay off this aesthetic with 5 models that can probably be made to look a zillion different ways. Really cool invitations for paint jobs on that. A character maybe that does something for the army.
And you fill a gap in an army that needs it, right? Because, again, you're looking at archetypes of units. They don't have just like a light cavalry unit.
Nope. And then you also expand that keyword so that more things can benefit from it. And so it was like, I thought when he started saying that sentence, that's what we were going to see. And it just instead, you're locking them into Underworlds again.
Yeah. And to be fair, the three of them, they look great. They look super cool. But that just makes me want that to pay off even more.
Now, is there a chance, since we saw that happen with the Gloomspite Gits, where they first released a warband that was just Gobbo Wolf Riders,
right?
And then later, Gloomspite Gits got a great big box set of a bunch of Goblin Wolf Riders. Could it be that it's like, well, we'll get this Underworlds warband, and then when Sylvaneth comes back around, they get a box set that's got a unit of these and a character of these, and they expand that just like they did for Gits.
Yeah, I think there's absolutely a chance. I think there is. I think they wouldn't stop there, because when you look at the Gits, it was...
they got a lot for the Gits when they did that.
It was a chariot. It was a chariot character, 2 different kits.
Yeah.
It was the catapult. It was the Wolf Rider character.
Yeah.
It was the Wolf Riders, the big ones.
Yeah, the
Wolf Riders,
2 Goblin Wolves.
The little ones, the little Wolf Riders. And then they introduced the 3-man unit from Underworlds as a unit.
Yeah.
That wasn't a character unit, but it was a unique unit.
Yeah.
So that was like, that's a pretty expansive roster. I think if they did this for the Carnathi, I don't think they'd stop with like, here's a unit. I think they would have to be like, here's a unit, here's a hero, here's maybe a big guy that leads them. That's
something we didn't think of
some
even.
New avatar of Kurnus or something like that. You know.
Yep.
Mel Gibson, you know.
Of course.
Comes back, you know, whatever, maybe. What was his name? The Lord from Old World? Orion?
Oh, yeah. The Master of the Hunt.
Something similar to that, right? And I think Belthanos is supposed to have taken over that role as like, because he's a Carnathi. That's that keyword. Maybe something like that. You know, a Hunts Master of some kind, maybe a generic one, not a named one. A big guy to lead them. And then I could absolutely see them doing the little satyr elves too, like the first warband had. I could see them doing like another kind of skirmish infantry, plus the cavalry, plus a big guy to lead them.
Well, and those, I think sometimes we forget about a little bit about those. Those little army box sets like that are some of the ways they have chosen to expand.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it almost feels like, and hear me out, the old like Kirby days and pre-Kirby days of Games Workshop releases where it was like armies had to wait years to get their stuff.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing is they're making it seem like, no, armies are getting touched every edition, but it's just a hero.
Right.
And then when they finally get their update, it's in the factor of one of these, every army is going to eventually get one of these box set expansions, but it just might not be now, might not be this edition.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that with Death Rattle. We saw it with Dark Oath.
Yep.
It could absolutely be something like that too.
It could be
this.
Yeah, Git's got it, and then now,
absolutely. I mean, we've seen plenty.
Slaves had that once.
Plenty of examples of it. So,
Lumineth had that once. Black Templars had that once. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they get that. We just don't. Do we know when they're on the roadmap? No. We don't know anything about the roadmap.
We're done with the roadmap.
Yeah. Because now the 2 Death Armies are out.
Because they paid off. They paid off Flesh Eater Courts. They paid off
Night Haunt.
They paid off Caradrons.
Yep.
And then Hashit wasn't even on the schedule, but we got that paid off.
Yeah.
So like literally we're up to date on the schedule. There is no roadmap going forward. We have no idea what's coming next.
And this was a preview event where they didn't give us a roadmap for any game.
Right. Yeah.
That's been one of their staples in recent years. Is here's a little.
Well, I think they've been bitten a little bit lately because they did give us a roadmap, and people were expecting things in certain times of the year and whatever. And I don't know if they're having production issues, if they're having shipping issues, if they're having whatever. Design directions changed. Like I don't know.
Well,
I think they've been bitten because they have said this is what we're going to do next, and then they have not followed that.
Yeah, they had to move. The Space Wolves was the big one.
Was like a huge one where like you weren't even in the year's roadmap, and then all of a sudden here they are, and you pushed everything else back. Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird thing to do. I mean, I would have been more happy with it if they had given us something more substantial. You know, it's like, yes, Logan Grimnar new is great and amazing. But if it was something like, hey guys, we bumped all this other stuff, sorry, but here's
well, hang on, no. The Space Wolves got a zillion kits.
I know they did.
And that's I think that did eat up production.
But they didn't give us Lehman Russ. Yeah, like if they would have bumped everything and been like, oh, we needed this window here because we have Lehman Russ, we want to get him out and we want to refresh you. You know what I mean? Like if that would have been like, okay, fine, I get it.
I think their Primarchs are start and end of edition guys.
Yeah.
For better, for worse. When it's at the end of an edition, it's like a neat way to cap it off. But then it's like, well, you have 3 months now to use these rules because he will not be like that when the next edition rolls out. That happened to Lion. That happened to Gilliman. It always happens.
My point remains. It's like it was neat, but it wasn't like this was so cool. It needed to bump everything else out of the way to make room for it. It's like you could have waited.
It was a large amount of production, but it wasn't an event.
Right.
And so it went from it was nowhere on the roadmap, not even when they did the teaser roadmap, to all of a sudden everything got bumped. This comes in. And
we're getting it in pre-orders next weekend. It's like, what?
And it was right around the time Cathay was coming out.
Yep.
2 weeks before the Horus Heresy launch was coming out. And so it was like that gobbled up so much stuff that we have no roadmap now. And it feels like what else is coming is just more character in a book nonsense.
Slop. Yeah.
That said, I will probably get the Iron Hands character, even though I don't have Iron Hands anymore.
Yeah, still cool.
He still looks cool. And I've actually got a non-black method I want to try. And his I own Pharaohs, but he's so tech marine-y looking, and he's actually like covered with so much stuff it's hard to do it.
Do you have a Ferrus Manus too? No.
Okay. Not anymore. But then this new one, they left his armor just, dare I say, plain enough that I think it gives the painter a lot of freedom.
I don't like the studio's Iron Hand style. It's too black and white.
Well, it just looks Raven Guard-y, which I picture like the.
But even like Raven Guard, I feel like it has a lot of blue in it. You know, like this version of theirs is just it's so monochrome.
Well, and it's kind of too clean.
Right. Yeah.
So when I think of that scheme clean, I think of Raven Guard.
Sure.
With Iron Hands, it's like you want that hint of oil,
right? Because it's a dirty black.
Because they're so mechano,
they're smudgy.
And you want that hint of they have close ties with their Forge Worlds, unlike most Marines. And so red dust in places, and you want oil to appear. And the studio just usually doesn't. They just black, clean, gray lines, clean-ish silver. The end. But I think that model, that new one, is really unique. It reminds me a little more of like a Heresy era design,
sure,
but updated to the 40K aesthetic. And I just think that one's got a lot of opportunities. We'll see. I might snag him, but I don't think we have release dates on any of these. And then today they usually do an announcement of the next pre-order. That's what Sunday announcements are, right?
There was one.
Was there?
Yeah, it was super late in the day though. It was next week is more Saturnine. It's like the stuff outside of the box by itself.
Already?
So the next week the pre-order is like the Dreadnought by itself and the Terminators by themselves.
Okay.
The character by themselves. If you don't want to get the box or you need more Terminators than what was in the box, you can now buy them solo. They also are.
Do we know if
upgrade like weapon options for the Dreadnought?
Well, that's what I was going to wonder. Do we know if the standalone kits? No, these look like they have the same options that are in the box, right? Yeah, I think so. Except the Dreadnought has these different weapons.
Although they don't say what material the upgrade weapons are made from.
Oh, yeah. It says sprues for both Dreadnought configurations will be available separately from the Warhammer web store, allowing for additional customization. Advanced modders will be able to magnetize the arms in order to switch on.
The arms.
Yeah.
But usually they'll say, like, this is a plastic upgrade. Is it going to be a Forge World resin upgrade?
It says the word sprues.
Okay.
So I'm going to wager it's plastic.
Sprues for both Dreadnoughts. Okay.
The details also look a little sharp to be the resin.
Okay. I hope so.
Let's hope.
But yeah, any like doubt of them like having weapon options and stuff outside of the box that comes with the models, I think is out the window. I mean, there's gonna be tons of customizations and upgrade sprues and weapon, loadouts and stuff that aren't in that initial release. I mean, they were also showing off for the
full disintegrator weapons.
Yeah, that's the disintegrator weapon sprue. That's 20, 40, whatever, however many disintegrators in the box set.
It's 20 rifles, 4 combis, 4 pistols, 4 blasters, 4 heavy, 20 battery packs. And I guess they fit any of their Mark 6 forward newer plastics. So the 6, 3, and 2 or whatever.
So they're just hands. They're just hands-on weapons.
Yep.
So yeah, that's good. They were also saying that there's a drop pod going to be brought into Heresy, but that drop pod doesn't have a sculpted base.
No, it's the original one.
So
it even says this returning plastic kit. So they gave 40K the sculpted base 2-pack that is made in China, by the way.
Yep.
And they're taking the original drop pod and sending it to Horse Heresy.
That's insane. That's so weird. That's so weird to me. All right.
It is. One thing, by the way, so people were upset, and we talked about this last week, that the new rules, the new Libers, as you call them, that for the traders and for the loyalists, launched, and all of those unique specialist units are not in there, and so everyone decided to do their preemptive 3-page long stories on Instagram and full character, max characterization on Twitter. Game's dead. All these things I spent money and time on, I can't use now. Thanks, Games Workshop, for screwing me over. And so that was everywhere. Yeah. Of course it was. Of course. And no, I don't think GW reacted to that social media outcry by then announcing.
I think they announced it in the timing that they did because they had heard feedback. But I don't think it was their plan to leave those units dead.
No, and we anticipated that. We said what they were doing with those new Libers was saying, here's everything that's in plastic.
Right.
Here are the core kits that every army uses. And then it was like,
we don't sell a lot of these things at Forge World anymore.
Right.
We're not including them.
Correct.
For right now.
Yeah, and so then it's like, yes, we will have PDFs later for all these specialist units.
Yep.
Now, that said, did the people say, oh, phew, I'm going to get to use these? Nope. They acted like they never did the rant, or they came up with another thing. Oh, sure, announce it now. It's like, how many games have you really played in the new edition where you couldn't use your units because they didn't have a PDF yet? So that's the first thing. Number two, I don't buy the argument that I have spent money and time on this thing, therefore, okay, so this is a hobby where people and models might go back decades. So this idea that they're supposed to know everything you have and keep those rules forever and ever and ever, that's ridiculous. It really is. I don't buy that as a legitimate gripe. Now, if it's relatively new and rules just disappear, that's no bueno.
Right.
If it's just something that they're not talking about, Warcry, that's no bueno. Like what was
Curse City?
Again,
I know, 100%. Just refused to talk about it, like they were traumatized by it or something. They just didn't want to speak of it. Hey, what about Curse City? Any other questions? Yeah, I won Curse City. Okay, looks like the chat doesn't have any more questions.
Great.
We'll see you next week.
The Mortal Realms are great. What did someone have a question about a Primarch? Yeah, so they would like rather talk about that. So I don't know. I think that's no bueno when it's like new and then immediately taken away.
Yeah,
like the Horns of Hashut.
Yeah, which
what's happening?
I don't think are in the Hashut.
We don't even know if they're going to be in there because they didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So, other than to say, remember those cool Hashut guys and they had the helmets and like they said that, and then all of a sudden here's an army that doesn't talk about them at all. But that idea that, hey, this really crappy looking resin infantry kit that I bought from Forge World in 2009, I'm mad that I don't have my rules in the Liber. Like, I don't, would you spend $1,000 to get 5 units of them? Or, I just don't buy that's a reason to be angry. I do wish they would have announced with the release, hey, these only contain this.
Right.
Your other stuff is coming.
Right.
If you announce it right away, you avoid the outcry.
Yeah, people will be like, okay, well, here we go. Like they said, here's this Liber, doesn't have the stuff in it, but it will be later. I'll hang on to it.
They did announce it, which is great. They just poorly timed it.
Right.
Speaking of poor decisions, I guess they're doing an official logo change to the actual Games Workshop word itself. So the sort of ketchup and mustard.
Well, it's like someone selected it and accidentally changed the font.
Yeah,
and then they just like locked it in.
Well, they like pasted it into Word, but didn't paste special,
right?
And so it just went into the default font.
It's really weird.
And so it is
but it's not. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
It is the most boring, just caps lock looking font.
It's like what Taco Bell did
in
the last few years. Taco Bell rebranded.
Okay.
If you go by a Taco Bell when they're doing their like renovations and stuff, Taco Bell used to be insane. It used to be crazy. Right, it used to be like tan and purple, and they used to have all these crazy colored
Fiesta
windows,
confetti and
all that. Their logo was insane. It had a bell in the middle of it. go to Taco Bell now, and it's like it's the whole modernization minimalist thing now.
Yeah.
You took away everything interesting, and you made a square building now, and you took away all the font, all the color. Your colors are now purple and white, and it's like this now looks boring. It looks corporate. It looks awful. McDonald's is starting to do that.
Yep.
If you've noticed, their buildings, it doesn't have any of the crazy roofs anymore.
Wendy's did that too.
Flattened it. Square building, windows, flat, modern art, whatever. It's just like, this is boring now. Wendy's did the same thing.
Yeah.
Flattened it, windows. They look the same now. It's like you took all the character and all the flair away from your brand, and you gave it a basic font. You hired the same fucking designers every other place, and they rebranded.
Probably was. The same. It's like how everybody has the same thumbnail on YouTube,
exactly.
right?
Or you know how they hired a Ferrari designer to do the new Corvette.
Right.
I still see that car on the road, and I'm like, what kind of car is that? And you look at it's got a Corvette sign on the back. It's like, that's not a Corvette.
Yeah, it's they put the Corvette badge on a European
on a Ferrari
hypercar.
Yeah. It's like, that's not a Corvette anymore. There's zero design elements that are the same as
not even the taillights or anything.
Nothing.
I think the engine moved. It's no longer in the front.
Right. It's a rear engine.
Yeah.
It's a rear engine car now. It's like
they used to be one of the unique.
Call it something different.
They used to be one of the unique things about the Corvette was that it was this front engine, basically a muscle car with an athletic shape that could compete with the supercars for a quarter of the price.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now it's just them.
You just join them.
It's just a McLaren. It's just a Lotus. It's just a Ferrari. Yeah. Anyway.
But that's what Games Workshop's doing.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
They hired Taco Bell and McDonald's as logo designer, and they just kind of flattened.
And you know what's funny is the person probably opened up a Word document, typed the word Games Workshop, and sat there looking for days, just trying to think how to make it look, and then he just like send.
Yeah.
And then they were like, brilliant.
Yeah.
And so now, don't get me wrong, I thought the old logo was very dated.
Yeah.
But people do have attachments. And again, they hate change. They will complain about a company forever. Mm-hmm. And then when it changes, which is what they asked for, they complain about it even more. And so they're like, you took away all the character and everything we recognized about it. Now, there's something true about that. They did take the character out of it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I think of it yet. I don't think it matters. But they don't have a lot of buildings that they're, it's not like McDonald's where there's one in every town.
You see the logo everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing out in public.
So we'll see if they stick with it. I had heard years ago that they were thinking about getting rid of the name Games Workshop and just calling their brand Warhammer.
The website's now Warhammer.
Yeah.
Warhammer.com.
Funny thing is,
Warhammer community.
Even if in your address bar you type games-workshop.com, it takes you to warhammer.com.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty standard thing you do is you consolidate all your different URLs and whatever.
And it could be...
But you're right. Because they've rebranded the website to that already. They might be prepping to be like, we're not Games Workshop anymore. We're just now Warhammer.
And I do wonder if that's a big mess because Games Workshop is tied to certain investors and they own other properties, and so they might not ever be able to really get rid of the name. But maybe this is the way to do it.
I thought they'd kind of rebranded already too. With if you look at Warhammer Community, they've got the square symbol where it is just like a winged Warhammer.
Yeah.
And all it says on the bottom is Warhammer. Like I kind of thought that was their.
Yep.
That was our new style anyway. I mean, you look at their Warhammer community page and you don't see anything that actually says Games Workshop.
No.
Right? Not until...
Well, and the symbol's
not
great.
Until the very bottom where it says copyright Games Workshop 2025.
Well, and the symbol combines the AOS Sigmar hammer and the 40K Aquila, and so I feel like...
Yeah, exactly.
That was
perfect... I feel like they've already done it, you know? And everything literally refers to just Warhammer everywhere. There's no mention of Games Workshop, like I said, until the copyright.
And it's black and white. It's just black and white.
So I think it's just them, normalizing everything.
Well, and that modern, clean, sterile, but also boring look is one of those that's like, it doesn't invoke anything for better or for worse. It's one of those that can last forever because it's the time. It's just like when there are architects who design based on the times, and then ones who try to design something that lasts forever. The one that lasts forever is typically clean lines, geometric shapes, minimalist. That'll last any era. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. Have they made an official announcement about it?
I don't think so. I think it was just someone had noticed.
I just saw people doing
things were changing.
Yeah.
So it might have been like a temporary let's see what it looks like on the website, and people were there at the right time. They're like, I'm gonna screenshot that. That's weird.
It's funny how that stuff doesn't get missed.
Yeah.
How there's always someone somewhere who catches that even when it's only up for like 10 seconds and they clip it and it's on the internet and now it lives forever.
Yep. It's wild.
How did you know that was coming? Yeah. Or that's just all they do.
Yeah.
But
they constantly have a print screen button at the ready for whatever.
Just always. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. We'll see what happens next week. Like we said, we will be at GenCon. We'll see about getting something published. Put up. It might be late next week. It might be a week off. We're unsure yet. So
yeah, I think the next big news announcement on the Warhammer front, which could mean we have to expect a few dry weeks here.
Yeah. Again,
is because they'll probably have another one at Nova. Is where they typically do another set of rumors or a preview event, and that's just that's less than a month after GenCon ends.
Yep.
So we could see something there. I actually bet we would see something there. And then what, you go to like October you get LVO.
Yep.
And then December you get the World Championships. So like I wouldn't be surprised if we have 3 more preview events coming, but they're just saving a lot of stuff for that.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping they rationed it out to split between them all because
I'm a little torn on that because like I like seeing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And waiting for those events is a problem, but we do have more of those events now.
I don't like the waiting. I like knowing.
Knowing.
That is a problem. Yep.
That is a problem. But then the preview events do feel better when you get them.
Yep.
It's just, but like anything nowadays, everyone gets over it a week later. And so, yeah, you showed us a whole bunch in one weekend, but next weekend people are like, yeah, but what are you doing for me lately?
Yeah, what do you got next?
Yeah. And so I don't know which I like better. I think they're trying to juggle it. When they were showing us stuff every week, it felt like that was fine, but it wasn't big. Now you show us one big thing and then we wait a month.
Yeah, I like the trickle. I like constantly knowing new stuff's coming and constantly having to refresh the website. You know,
I think you nailed it on the roadmap thing. I think it just like it bit them, and it probably looked like it was going to bite them more because they might have had a few things they knew they had to move. And that's, I don't know, whatever.
Yep.
Just own it then. Okay, here's what. Even do it before and after. Okay, this is the roadmap we showed you. If you remember,
here's the updated one.
We had to change it. Yeah. I think
just be transparent.
I think the audience would respect it. You'd still have people who find a reason to go, oh, you had to change it. Nobody knows how to run the business there. But like, they would.
Yeah.
But I still think the audience would appreciate it more in the long run if you were just transparent when something was goofed.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
To wrap up, Chimera products. Jacoya.com. Check it out. 10% off.
Yeah. Get your Chimera stuff.
Use the code FTG 15. No, 10.
Yep.
Try FTG 15. See if
it gives you 15.
Probably won't. Try FTG 10. We also have sort of a little bit of news about some more channels we've got. We're trying to bolster a little bit in terms of like doing our painting content and stuff.
Yeah,
not just this.
We'll have more news about that and what that looks like. But like our podcast channel will still remain, and then I have Llama Paints Minis now as a YouTube channel with 1 follower myself, and but that's where my individual painting tips will go into that a little bit. And that way we can keep this channel just for the podcast. And then if Hyena goes to make something that he wants to do, like here's how to run a narrative campaign in AOS, or here's how to build this kind of terrain, or then you can on your own channel do that. And then, I mean, they can all collaborate, but
but there will be more of us out there.
There'll be more of us out there
in different places. So wait and see. Check that out once we got those all set up. But we've got plans, we got movements, we got stuff coming. We plan on doing more. So
there's like a trifold of options, like a menu.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually though, when I go somewhere, I already know what I want.
So you went to that place to get that thing, not because you wanted to look at the menu.
Most of the time.
So looking at the menu is just an arbitrary exercise, just to wait for the server to come back.
I just have to find the thing I already wanted.
Yep.
That
you knew was there.
That's what happens.
You're more or less just checking that it hasn't been removed from the menu.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, one of the worst.
Probably like 90% of the time, I actually do that.
You know, what one of the worst things is though, is you ever been with that group and you sit down and it's okay to tell the server the first time when they ask you for your drinks, and then say we need a couple minutes. Okay, if they come back that second time and someone says we need a few more minutes, you are not seeing that server for like 20 minutes now. It is the worst thing. Do not.
It's exponential.
Yeah.
Right? Like you increasing amount of time, left alone.
It's if I'm ever rude to a group, it's like, okay, the server went away. Everybody look at what you want. We can talk later. Don't bullshit now because now we're never going to see that server again if we tell them we need more time.
Now we're not eating tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me it's also like when I go somewhere, I know what I want already, and I get there, and I'm like, I'll have this. And I'm like, oh, sorry, we're out of that. We don't have that right now. I am all thrown off. I have no idea what to do after that.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find a second thing.
It's like, oh, that's the reason I came here.
I didn't even look at the menu. I don't know what you have.
I gave you the menu back. Yeah. So. I guess it's different. It's different. In a group, I get impatient like that. I'm like, everybody find out what you want, because then we can talk. Mm-hmm. If I'm just on something like a date, then I'm not in a rush, and I'll sit there and whatever. We can tell them 3 times to come back. But like in a group, no. It's like, but I don't know if I go to a restaurant because I know I want this one thing. I guess I haven't been like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Although I can think of this one thing I might want, and we can go.
So let's go to a place for that.
Let's go to that place.
Let's eat.
Thanks for joining. We hope you enjoyed. Follow us for more of our weekly episodes on YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. You can follow myself and Llama on Instagram. We are at Llama Paints Minis and Hyena Paints Minis. Music provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.